morning Shane's come over to put a ring on this guy with the illustrator. Yep. There we go. There you go. You can see while we're doing it, can't you? You can get in there. Okay. He's done a few of these. This lamb's getting a wee bit old, isn't it?
Yeah. Oopsie, sorry, you're right.
We should have probably done it a week ago or two.
Yeah, but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on for fly strike.
Just stops all the poo. You're pretty calm there, aren't you, eh? Not doing too bad. Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, I'll even go and have Steve Mum
Where you
again.
go. There you go.
Have a little walkie. See why it's not picking its stuff? That's good.
Yeah. Trying to find where Mum's gone. I think it's seen its flock now. There we go. We're going to try and find Mum and get a drink.
There you go, bud.
Morning, bud. Can you point the queen out?
That one there.
Ah, yep. Oh, yes. Well spotted. Yeah, there she goes. That's the queen there. Awesome. What's a queen worth to buy?
$75.
75 bucks.
Yeah. But the guys that are running pollination, some queens are worth $600 because they do 3 rounds.
Is that sugar and water, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vitamins for bees.
Vitamins for bees.
Yeah.
Is it made out of seaweed, that, is it?
Yeah. Seaweed based.
Oh, okay. That just sits in the bottom of it, does it?
Yeah. And it stays here. I never pull feeders out because when you pull them out, put them in the shed, you don't know where they come from.
Right. This year we had floods in Tasman and a lot of people lost a lot of stuff. They got their homes swept away in some cases. For me, what it did was I lost a lot of hay, and so I'm going to use this hay here that's got mould damage from the water coming and being driven into the concrete of the barn here, and it's gone underneath all the hay, and where it's sat, the hay has got this black sort of mould on it, which, as you can see, it's dusty. It's no good for feed. You can see that there, it's black on the bottom. It's all like this. It's all dusty, so it's gone on the back of the truck. All the bales on the bottom are damaged. They all look like this. This dusty, horrible mould, which it's a big waste. The hay down here is okay, but nobody wants to buy this for their horses because it's got this on the top, and there's not much I can do. So I'm going to utilise it. We could probably stack it a bit higher, but that'll do for now. And in my garden, some wild puha growing. So I'm going to take that right out. That's going to be good chomping and chewing. That's the raised bed, although I do need to stake them. The stuff isn't treated and it's pretty much good for not much else, so that'll do. I've placed pegs for this old bits of timber along here just to secure it, and it's brought these into line more, so that's going to work good. And we're going to fill this up with compost now. With this now put in, I've got stuck in here with my hoe, and as you can see I've got this coffee grounds, and in this coffee grounds, which I've had bagged up for a couple of years, what's happened is the worms have gone through it and broken it down, and they made it really good. There's quite a few worms in there, considering it's not actually a worm farm as such. It's full of these guys, tiger worms, and this is what I feed my worm farm because they love it. So I'm going to put this through the soil right through here, even there's a lot of weeds, and mix it up with the clay soil and then plant corn in here. That's the plan to the end. And then this here which was what some wood supply came on. I put little legs underneath it. I'm going to fill it up with compost and plant another crop in there, possibly kumara or potatoes. Maybe kumara because it's got a hard bottom and that stops them going too far down. Bit of this loamy sand mixed with the coffee grounds. It's got some other stuff in it which I mixed up last year and it's broken down. This is blood and bone. Just going to sprinkle some of that lightly over the top. Got golden pearl and honey pearl. I'm going to put these golden pearl in. I'm going to put straw around that later, just to keep the weeds down a bit. Give it a chance. I'll do a row of those. This is left over from growing mushrooms, and it's really good for planting veggies in. Although I'll be mixing other stuff into it, like some coffee grounds and some worm casings from the worm farm, and my own compost. But really is very, very good. Once we get our worms going through it, and add a few other bits and pieces, some seaweed, some sheep manure, chicken poo, broken down compost, it's going to be really good for planting in. It's just a matter of taking this little fella here over there and filling up my raised bed. It's that time of year again in New Zealand, springtime, and you'll be thinking about planting your tomatoes, your beets, your veggies, maybe some strawberries. Me, I live off my garden. I've pretty much taken the hay and made my own raised bed with it. You get about that much space to put your soil, but this will actually sink down as it's starting to. I've paid $100, $50 a scoop. I've got 2 scoops here, and that is a lot of money. But Debbie at the landscape place, she gave me some beetroot plants to plant, free. That was very nice of her. And I'm going to plant those because I like my beets. Beets are really good for your health, really good for nitric oxide production. And I'm a big lover of beetroot. So I'm going to plant some beets. First thing I want to do is I want to get this garden finished off and set up. Once I've got it set up, I will probably just let everything for a while just settle, because this will sink down quite a bit with the rain. I've put a row of corn, and you can see in the ground there that I've got this mixture of coffee grounds, and it stinks, and it's broken down with the other soil. Okay, this isn't broken down very good, but there's the coffee grounds there, and it's starting to break down quite a bit because it's had worms in the bags, and you get this really nice soil, and that's where my corn is planted. And that is honey and pearl is the name of the corn. So it sort of goes not really bright yellow, it's more of a pearly colour. And next to it you'll see this here, this bit of tin that I've had for a while, and I've put a wooden frame I've nailed underneath it, so it's nailed into a wooden frame. And what I've got going on there is basically going to be a raised bed. This was actually something that some timber arrived in when I was building my barn, and I've kept that. So it's perfect for a raised bed. I might put kumara in it, I'm not sure yet. The idea with kumara be good is you don't want kumara going into a soft bottom. You want them to say they stop growing, like they actually start to, they hit a bottom and then they get bigger rather than growing out long like a tuber. So this is a perfect setup for doing that, because I can put some soft, probably the same stuff I've got there, compost, and maybe put some nutrients in the soil, and I can plant kumara. So I may put kumara, I may do yams, or I may do something completely different, but I've got enough compost to fill it up. I said to my children when they were students that one of the best plants you can grow if you're a student, and you only need to have a bucket for this, is courgettes, because when they start producing, they just keep on producing. They're not the most fantastic plant as far as taste goes, they're pretty bland. You can do a lot with them. You can do them in olive oil with some garlic, a little bit of salt. It's starting to get a bit hot with the sweatshirt. You stay inside here, Pace, you're not going away. Stay here, Pace. You're not going away, buddy. Stay here. You can smell the blood and bone. He's now in the blood and bone. That's blood and bone bucket there. That's what he's smelling, that's what he's into. Okay, I'm watching you, buddy. Young Pace McBride, I can see you. Yes, I can. You good boy, Pace? Hey? Sniffing around my blood and bone. That's what's going on there, isn't it? Hey? Stay here and go away. You little bugger. It's just trouble. Any dog that's got Jack Russell in it, terrier, they're kamikaze pilots, you know, they're eventually going to self-expire. The thing when I take him hunting is he doesn't want to just stop the pig, he wants to fight it. And it's always a trouble because he always ends up getting ripped. And I end up having to stitch him up. So that's not ideal, is it, Pace? Yeah, not good. Right, well, we're getting there slowly. So very, very satisfying making a garden out of all this. Very satisfying indeed. Utilising something that I thought I couldn't do much with. Right, where's the blood and bone? Here. Now this is blood and bone. And do I have a little thing to do it with? I'm just going to sprinkle. You'd like a bit of that, wouldn't you, eh? Hey? You want a little bit? There's a wee bit there for you, sniff. There you go. It's like Charlie to you, eh, buddy? Yeah. Why would you not like it, eh? All dried out blood and bone. It really does make a difference putting this stuff on the garden. But I like to sort of put it in and let it stay a few days before I plant stuff on. I don't know whether it's actually burning the plant or what's happening, but I have had it next to the plant and the plant's gone brown. So if you know what's going on there, let me know. The best thing I found is just to water it in. Next kind of better way to go about it. I have a place where I bury my offal and then I dig it back up, but the trouble with that is the rats tend to come. So getting blood and bone in is a better option, really. It's easy to contain, keep it in a tin, so long as it doesn't get moist, and it's really good on the garden. It's something which, it's of course being an animal protein, it's going to attract flies and dogs and rats if you have it, so store it in a place where they can't get to it, because they'll find it. One time my dog Poe ate like so much of it she ended up getting sick. On that note, don't let your dog get into your compost either. Poe got in the compost and she started having seizures. We thought we were going to lose her, and it wasn't ideal. There's some things that get in the garden that are also dangerous to us. That's why supposedly I should be wearing gloves while I'm gardening. And I get told off quite a bit, and some of you watching this will be saying, Clay, you should be wearing gloves and a mask dealing with this, and you'd be right. So don't do as I do as I say. Wear your gloves and wear your mask. I'm just at the point now where I've been doing it so long, I guess I've been lucky. But there are some nasties in this stuff. I think being outdoors and well ventilated is what saved me. But I should really be wearing gloves dealing with a lot of this stuff. But then I wouldn't enjoy it the same, wouldn't have the same therapeutic feel, and I really like the idea of getting really involved in the garden and feeling it and smelling it. And so you're getting some dust in your eyes here, buddy. You'll see down here all these bags of coffee grounds, and this is my worm farm here. It's got the bags on top, and what's happened is they have somehow migrated from the worm farm and got down to here. I don't know how they've done it. Let's give it a slight turn. I make sure that I don't cut the worms. I always put the spade right down the side of the bath. Come in, Pace. Come here, boy. Don't you go away. Come in, boy. We're getting some really good casings here and some really good worms. If you can see that, this big guy here is crawling down. They're all intertwined. And they just go through this coffee and they break it down. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. Oh, look at the worms under that, my God. Look at this. This is just after lifting it up. I've just lifted that bag up. Look at these worms. Hundreds and hundreds of them. Just not even in the worm farm, just underneath the bag. Oh, we'll take that bag down. It's definitely springtime. It's getting warm. Where's that little dog gone? Yeah, Pace. Oh, you're there. Good boy. You go too far. I love it because it means that the good boy is down there. Snapper will be coming in the bay soon. I don't know if this is working while I'm holding it. I'm making a lot of noise. hear me better. And when the snapper come in the bay, that means it's kayak fishing time, eh Pace? Not that you enjoy that as much as me. There's some beautiful fish come in the bay here, and you only need to go out 5 or 6 metres and you're already catching fish. Right, 1 bag of worms and coffee, and it's not that light. You'd like to eat some of that too, wouldn't you? You're a dirty little bugger that gets involved with everything. Let's see what we've got here. Put it up on this one here to begin with. And tear a knife into that. Hopefully we didn't cut any worms. It may not have worms in it. They don't all make it into them. And just tip it out as best we can. Spreading. Actually, no worms at all in that one. Surprising. Oh, yes there is. Yes there is. Yep, there is indeed. Oh, yep, there they go. Good boy, Pace. Beautiful. Over our blood and bone. And compost. Trying to keep it really towards the middle. Hallelujah, that's good. That's really good. I think this is going to be the last bag on this. Very good indeed. It's all going to break down nicely. There it goes. I'm going to get the hose and water that in, but not before I put something else on it. That is very satisfying, and I think it's time for a wee cup of tea and one of Miss Judy's famous biscuits. And you wait to see these biscuits and what's in them. I mean, these biscuits are like whole food. I take them hunting with me and they've got everything in them. I'm going to make a cup of tea and show you what's in them. I realised it was actually past lunchtime, so I've got some stuff for a salad, but I do want to show you these biscuits before I start finish off making my salad. That's in there. Blueberries, ground chia seed, ground flaxseed, wheat germ, psyllium husk, dates, coconut on the top, as you can see, it's brown, groats or steel cut oats, apricot, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. Look, I'm only scratching the surface of what's in these. Sultanas and raisins. I have to have a wee bite. I'm just drooling. Cranberries. You can see Pace's tail just wagging down there. He thinks it's for him. Look at that tail wagging. He knows it's good tucker. Anyway, excuse me using the microphone. I do want to get some lettuce to add to my salad. And I've got this lovely Cost lettuce here, so I'm going to take a bit of that off and break that into my salad. My salad's got mixed beans, beetroot, tomato, avocado, red onion, spicy and hot. The watercress which grows on the farm here, spicy and hot. I read a really interesting study a while ago that said that people that garden ongoing their whole life on average live 4 to 5 years longer. Now these studies, I mean, you can take them with a grain of salt, I guess, but it was done over a large cohort, a lot of people, and I don't know whether it's the garden or it's the exercise or it's the community thing of the people working together or it's the food they're eating or what aspect of it, but what I can imagine from my own feeling is my mental health, I notice, always improves when I'm gardening. Not sure how many of you guys are growing passion fruit. I had a really good crop last year, this year at least, but I left them on the vine too long and they dried out. So I realised you've got to harvest them reasonably soon. They look fine and black and dandy, but then I went to open one up and it was like wood. So they have quite a limited life on the line, on the vine at least. Every chance he gets. Go away and do a runner. Right, we want to get this as close as we can. There are so many uses for this hay around the garden. I'm starting to think it was actually a blessing in disguise that I lost some of it to the rain. It's See, as you can see, it's very dusty. You don't want to give your horses that. See, it's mouldy on the top, it's quite dark. And how do I want to go with this? Fold it over. Like that. Poke it in there a little bit more. And that should be enough to stop the, hopefully, everything coming out the ends. I probably could do with maybe a couple of stakes pegged on either side to stop the ends spreading too much maybe. I'll go and get some pegs. I've got some old pegs left over from the concreting we did. Some of them are quite good. They're already cut out, you see. Oh, that one's not. That one's not. And some of them are, like this one. They've got the ends cut. This is going to be just perfect. More often than not, it's the little jobs that you're doing around home is when you have accidents. And that is a very satisfying job to finish too. You can see my corn growing down the side here. Growing a single row of corn is not ideal. You want to grow your corn in rows of 4 or more for pollination. Having one single row like this is not fantastic, but I had a strip down there that wasn't being used for anything, had weeds growing, and I wanted to clear it up, so I've made use of it by throwing some corn in there. But the pollination is not going to be so good. I have actually grown corn like that before here, and it was okay. But you can get better production if you have rows that are short beside each other in the garden. This time with my blood and bone, I've also mixed up some lime and some fertiliser, because I don't have any worms in this compost here, and the fert's going to help feed the plants, so I want to sprinkle that on there now and then water that in. There's not a worm in sight. Later on I'll introduce worms, but I want this to feed the soil a little bit as best I can. I'll probably leave this garden for a while just to settle before I plant anything in it. A lot of joy comes from this. It's the simple little things like that in life, isn't it, that bring joy. It seems such a basic thing. I like farming animals, but I actually enjoy hunting them more, because basically they've been farmed free out in nature, and you're doing something to help the environment, keeping an invasive species down to give all the other plants and everything a chance, and it's a free food source. Well, it's not free, it's hard yards you've got to do to get it. Right, we'll water the other one. Now the worms will be loving this, they'll be really enjoying it. Worms like water, I've discovered. They don't like to be dried out. In fact, if they dry it too much they die. Sometimes on my worm farm I'll just put the hose in there and leave it and just let it fill right up, and they'll thrive. They seem to be able to live underwater for ages, like they swim around the bottom of a bucket of water without drowning. I don't know how that is. Maybe they can somehow get oxygen from the water through their skin, I don't know, but they seem to do pretty well on it. Water for my wormies, water for my worms, water for my wormies. Oh yes, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I've got a knot in the hose. So Debbie at Marpur Landscape and Gardening Place gave me these lettuce, and they're organic, I think. They are. Wethersfield's organic lettuce, 4 seasons. The very first thing I'm planting in my little raised bed. And they'll be lovely. I can just about plant these with my fingers. Look at that, we'll put one in there. Beautiful. Now I could put a little bit of mulch around this. Oh, there's a bit of fertiliser in there, I don't want to burn the plant. I could put some straw around it, but I don't think I'm going to bother at this stage. It would help keep the weeds down and keep it more hydrated, I guess. But for now we'll just leave it like that there. When they're a bit more bigger, water for my wormies, water for my worms, water for my wormies, and water for my lettuce, water for my lettuce. This is my sub-irrigated planter, and it doesn't really need a lot of water because it naturally holds the water. It's built with plastic going down the sides with rocks on top, and then pea metal, and then the soil. And as you'll see, this soil is made up of a lot of horse poo. You can see horse poo, it's got that sort of grainy stuff, and coffee grounds, and chicken poo, and sheep poo. And this here basically needs very little water. This is the first time I have watered this, probably in 8 months. Now the good thing about the water is you can't overwater it because it has an overflow at the back, and you can also water it simply by watering this here. There's a pipe here in the corner. That pipe there fills up and goes right along the pan. Although watering it topically is okay too. It does tend to create more feed for this tiny wee seeds that want to germinate, which are weeds mostly. I've got really healthy chives growing here, and it's some nice coriander and some, I think this is, what's this here? That's coriander. You either love coriander or you don't. I think this is Italian parsley. It is. It's just one of my herb gardens. I use a lot of herbs in all my cooking. I mostly use my own fertiliser that I make with everything around the place, off the beach and in the paddock. But I also buy this stuff as well. Thrive. Just because it's easier sometimes if you want to give your plants, particularly my herbs, just a little bit of feed. So I smack a cap of this. It goes a long way. It's very concentrated. I'm going to give them 2 caps because these are going into plants that are already well established. If you're doing seedlings, you wouldn't use anywhere near that much because it is quite strong. But particularly my wasabi plants and all my herbs, I like to give them some tucker. You don't have to, they'll still grow without it, but it's like anything. You give it good nutrition and it blooms just like us. And really basically this here has been taken by the plant and made into good nutrients for us to chew on. So the more good stuff that goes in the ground, the more good stuff that ultimately goes into your own gut, giving you good health. And it's a wonderful feeling when you have a plant that's healthy and you harvest it and you're eating it and feeding it to the people you love. There is no better joy in the world than going into your garden and picking luscious vegetables and fruit and then making a meal and sitting around and having a few belly laughs and a bit of a sing-song with your mates and feeding it up. It's the same feeling that if you go onto the hill and you catch a pig or shoot a deer, or you go into the river and catch a trout, or you go out to the sea and catch a fish and you bring it home and you serve it up to the ones you love. The same applies for growing vegetables. This is the way that we have sort of evolved, and I think we've got away from that quite a bit in our society of just going to the shop and buying stuff all the time. We've lost the actual reality, the connection with our food. And in losing the connection to our food, we become sick because it's not natural a lot of the time. We eat food out of season, we eat whenever we want to. We don't even know what it's like to be slightly hungry or peckish because we just have a fridge we can open any time of day. We've got Tupperware containers full of nuts and seeds that we can just chew on if we're hungry, we can snack. We don't actually spend hours out in the paddock working all day and coming at the end of the night exhausted, having done physical exercise to then eat something that we've harvested in our garden. Most of us do day jobs that we don't particularly enjoy that much, and then we buy our food and it's really just the way we are, but it's not the most healthy way. And I think a lot of the stresses that we have could be counterbalanced by that, by just good nutrition and also being responsible for our food. Right, this is going to be going to my herbs. Right, oh, that is heavy. That's really heavy. Cattle beasts that I killed, which I've been feeding the dogs, and these are my herbs outside the log cabin, and they are thriving. The wind prevails this way, so I've got a piece of building paper up to help stop them getting smashed, and this has made a big difference. But this rocket's just starting to seed. Actually, it's really going to town, and they've already been watered today once, but they haven't had any food. I've got some over here too on the other side. And I've put this wire netting to keep the rabbits off it, because the rabbits were enjoying the parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Well, they're not eating anymore. That's a good feed. Let's go and see how the wasabi's doing. I love my wasabi. Would you look in here? Oh my babies. And I've got some very small ones growing. I'm going to need a watering system. Now this is an aqua plant, and you'll be familiar with that flower. You'll think you will be, because it looks just like the flower that you get with the watercress, but actually it's wasabi. They're very similar. They're both aqua plants. A bit dark in there to see. Now wasabi wants 100% shade, and the good thing is you can eat the leaves, but the rhizome is the bit you want, and the rhizome is down in here. There's our rhizome down there. You can see sort of like the base of it, and that's what you grind on a shark skin or a stingray skin. I've been coming in here doing some weeding regularly. I've got on top of most of the weeds. There's a few popping up again, like this guy here in the middle of the plant. The other thing I do is I also remove the dead leaves. There's a weed we don't want. Look, here's a wee baby wasabi that's seeded up. I can give that to someone. I keep my Patreons in wasabi. They get free plants from me when they come to see me at the house. Anyway, they're looking good, very good. These tomatoes come from what my cousin Greg sent me. Now my granddad, I think, had these originally, or maybe his father did, I'm not sure. But they are just a family heirloom tomato. Get a bit of water. And these ones are just about ready to plant out, these bigger ones. These are cherry tomatoes. And there's some corn that's from the shop. Just a little bit that is left over, which I'll plant somewhere. Cape gooseberry. And we had a great crop last year. This year not looking so good, I think. Check it out. It's huge. I grew it in a pot. It's gone through the roof. This is a massive puha. Look at that. Look at the green, look at the size of the leaves on this. They are massive. And if you go down here, you'll see the little pot that I planted it in. And it's tipped over right down the bottom here. Look at that. Look at the stem on it. That is puha. That is a great puha. And I'll just come and pick stuff off that. And also one of my wasabis, which badly needs a bit of water and feed. Looking a bit sad, worse for wear. Some of these pots have tipped over. This is my other wasabi patch in here, beside the mandarin tree. It wants to be in shade wasabi. I can't believe that that puha has grown right through the roof of my little shade house here. Anyway, let's get some food to this guy, because he's not looking very happy. And there, the rest are okay. And some of my puha. Really, really quite amazed to see it's got that big. And this is my watercress, but look at this. The twitch got into it, and it's growing in the water. And I haven't got on top of it. It's actually growing in the bloody water. Twitch, and it's supposed to be watercress. Unbelievable. But we do have good watercress. The trouble is that the rabbits have been jumping up and actually chewing the tops out. See, that's been chewed by a rabbit. This aqua plant is very healthy for you. And this was a healthy plant until the rabbits got stuck into it. So I think we might have to do another cull in the area. We'll put something to stop these guys from getting chomped, because they have been chomped down quite a bit. Having a redneck Joe's bees in the property has been really good, because it means we get a lot of pollination with everything, and that's what we want, particularly our corn and the likes of. And we get honey from it too. This is my 4-bay compost. There's the first one. The second one's got stuff growing in it right now, it's in a mess. I've been digging the third one, and I put the third one into the fourth. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of, almost looks like sawdust. This is because we use sawdust to keep our chickens clean, but there's other stuff in there too. But the sawdust seems to come to the fore, and it doesn't really look as black as I would like it. I have put coffee grounds in there, but it still looks a lot like sawdust. And it's got other stuff in it broken down, so we might have to mix it into something else. You can definitely see there's also the sawdust left over from the log cabin. It will break down. And this is the plant we get growing through the compost. This bloody twitch, and it's a pain in the ass. It really is. Look at it growing through everything. And it draws a lot of the nutrition out of the compost. So we need to have really a weed-free compost, but that's nearly impossible. This is actually good compost. It's broken down good. But I won't be introducing any of that twitch to my garden. You can see there's weeds in there. What I have been using, it's definitely broken down good, but it's just a matter of separating this stuff. I'll show you the pile I separated the last lot. That's it down there. Look at that. There's just so much of it. I'm going to get stuck into this because I don't want these here to get away any further. Hey guys, thanks for watching me, and I hope you got something from this video. Good luck with your own gardening this spring. Go steady. I'll see you next one. See you later. Right, into it.